Vincent Arredondo. Hello. All right, so I know you were in jury trial, so state, were you able to tender an offer?
They tendered an offer this morning, Judge. I've conveyed it to my client. He would like some time to consider the offer because it does involve him going into custody, he's obviously on bond. But he also would like me to look into some of the discovery, some possible defenses. And we do have the discovery. I just need to look into some of the things that he's told me.
All right, I can bring this back on April 24th.
Sure.
All right. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
plea deadline date on this case, April 24th.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Once you sign the reset form, you are excused. Robert Petty. Robert Petty. All right, Mr. Petty, if you'll come down. Are you ready to proceed on the motion? Court is calling 2022 CR 11723 State versus Robert Allen Petty. Could I have parties announced?
Ashley Jones for the state.
190 letter attorney for Mr. Petty.
And are you Robert Allen Petty?
Yes.
All right, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Robert Allen Petty who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 11723 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on March 21st, 2023 for a period of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am. No objection, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation 15F, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation 15F?
Yes.
Court will find 15F true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes. The first agreement is to follow probation, verification, to all the ISM positive and weekly reporting.
All right, so is that the agreement, defense?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right, here's my question for you, sir. Do you want to be on probation or do you want to just go to prison?
I would like to be on probation.
All right, so here's the thing. If you would like to be on probation, you have to show that you would like to be on probation. That means by completing everything. Do you understand?
Yes,
All right, so because you didn't complete aftercare, and aftercare is not necessarily locked down, right?
yes,
Now you're going to be locked down at ISF, so that's where you'll be. You understand?
yes,
So is there a reason why you couldn't complete everything?
no,
You just decided you didn't want to do it?
yes,
All right, so,
Judge, he was living in Uvalde. His probation got transferred to Uvalde. Has nobody living, I guess at that time, he had somebody in Uvalde, but no longer anybody there. So he just actually came back to San Antonio in November. And he's told me, so it's my fault. I didn't report. Should have reported. I should have done everything I should have done. He says, I understand it's my fault. But he, in his condition, physical condition, he really, it would probably benefit from being an ISF, get his life structured, everything. He has talked to the folks there at Haven for Hope. So once he is released from ISF, completes our programs and everything, he will be having the assistance of their living program and actually participate in the programs to help him to continue with his probation and actually continue with his life. He's 70 years old, Judge, so he's not, he's basic. My understanding is maybe the only thing he's had in all these years, maybe some misdemeanors back in the 70s. But he will comply with the conditions. He just doesn't want to be on, doesn't want to go to prison. I don't think he'd survive in prison, tell you the truth, Judge.
all right, so here's the thing, what you're gonna have to remember. I understand about age and issues, but you're on probation for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You have to follow through on conditions. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
And if for some reason you wake up and you find, the people you thought you were going to stay with, there's an issue with that, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court is going to deny the motion to alter and amend conditions to include ISF cognitive. He's going to remain in custody until transfer and weekly reporting for 60 days. All right,
Thank you, Judge.
thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, on this case, there was no PSI. It was just a TAP evaluation. Have you all
I
have the
have it.
TAP?
I have it. I reviewed it with my client, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 0176 State versus Arturo Villanueva. Can I have parties announced for the record? State, defense?
Daniel Vela.
Are you Mr. Arturo Villanueva?
Yes.
You entered a plea of no contest to count one, paragraph A and paragraph B, applied for deferred adjudication. The state waived count two without objection and also the deadly weapon without objection. This was scheduled for a TAP evaluation without a PSI on February 27th, but then there were medical issues, so it was rescheduled for March 27th. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution to the complainant. Have both parties had a chance to review the TAP evaluation?
We have, yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the TAP evaluation, state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses? Defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We're just asking the court to follow the agreement, Your Honor.
All right.
There is one issue regarding, I know the court addressed the restitution issue.
Yes,
I did just confer with the state regarding that. There is, and with probation, and there is no number on, we don't know that at this point. So we reserve our right to request the restitution hearing if and when.
oh, we're gonna set it for a restitution hearing. And state, you'll need to provide information to probation on any restitution if there is restitution. And how much time are you requesting for that, state? All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset for restitution. All right, May 5th will be for restitution. With regards to your sentencing, this is what the court will do. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution, if any, to Christian Ramirez. And that hearing will be set on May 5th, 2025. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. Are you currently employed?
No.
Are you retired? All right. There's to be no contact with Christian Ramirez. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. How do you spend your day?
My house,
Doing what? What do you do?
my plants, sit,
All right, so,
bike.
okay. So it's gonna be 100 hours of community service restitution. There's to be anger management. And are you still driving?
Not now.
All right, so you don't drive at all? All right, there's to be no driving. Bill visits 1 time per month for 6 months. And according to the TAP evaluation, there is no need for any type of treatment. Is that correct, probation? Probation, is there anything else? He states that, do you receive SSI?
What's that?
Do you receive any type of check from the government due to any injury?
Your Honor,
Yes,
may it please the court?
yes.
The top evaluation shows that he received social security benefits.
Okay,
And he
so
provided that to,
there's to be
that's part of
proof of
that.
employment or SSI within 30 days. And if you decide to have employment, there's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else?
No.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
Here's the thing, probation in this court, to be successful, communication is key. If you have an issue, let probation know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can come back to court. But we will be back here on May 5th for a restitution hearing. And counsel, if your client is able to appear by Zoom for that, he can appear by Zoom.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 010581, State versus Macedonia, Claudio Jr. Can I have parties announce?
Andrew Harris Adelman, State.
Survey bar for Mr. Macedonia Claudio.
And are you Mr. Claudio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all discovery and did you review it with your client?
We have.
Probation, this is an application. Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated third or more as a third-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 7 years in the prison, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense is at the plea?
It's probation, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, probation. Thank you.
It is otherwise, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry about that. State, did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, ignition interlock for half the term, DWI intervention, VIP live. Well, you're not allowed to drink alcohol while you're on probation, and there's to be 2-year driver's license suspension. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
And did you also understand that as a condition of your probation, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in the Bexar County Jail? All right. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plea? Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just asked the court to follow the plea agreement and entered into after a couple different discussions, not just with the ADAs, but Mr. Claudio himself.
All right, and with regards to Woolsey, state, is there restitution for Britton Woolsey?
No, Your Honor, all of their costs were completely covered by liability insurance.
All right, and there's no deductible for them?
If there was, they did not mention.
All right, thank you. So probation, there's no restitution. All right, so how often do you drink alcohol?
How long, Your Honor?
Well, I mean, I'm sure after your DWI first, you said to that judge, oh, I no longer drink alcohol. And then when you pick up the second one, oh, Your Honor, I no longer drink alcohol. So obviously you have an issue with alcohol. Obviously, you cannot drink alcohol at all because you can't stop when you start. It would have been so easy for this person that you had the car accident with to have been killed by you. And then you would have been here crying, and your family members probably would have been saying, please don't send him to prison. He's a good guy. Counsel, you've done a lot of DWIs. Have you ever had a client or known someone who said, my intention when I went out drinking was to become intoxicated and kill somebody?
Amen.
Nobody ever says that, but it ends up happening. So what I will tell you, when you're on probation, and it's not just for DWIs, it's for any probation case, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, period. If you drink alcohol, that's a violation of your probation. And in this case, if your probation is violated, you're looking at potentially 7 years in the prison. And what I do know is usually when people have DWIs and they go to prison, they end up serving the majority of that time. So what do you do for a living?
I work for a company called 4840 Solutions. It's a pallet company. We break down old pallets and rebuild new ones. So I've been there nearly 2 years, 3 years, 7, 8 months.
And what have you been doing to seek to maintain your sobriety?
started, going to lifetime recovery outpatient. I attend AA. I am enrolled, it starts May 3rd, I'm enrolled to the BWI intervention. I completed the VIP, the victim impact. I have my certificate for that.
Mhm.
And staying busy, work and home and with my family like I should have been doing.
Mhm. All right. And do you have any minor children?
My youngest is 12, going on 13.
All right. So, council, there is 10 days required at the Bear County Jail. Sometimes in exchange for that, I will do partial GPS, but it will be partial GPS for work only.
Understood, Your Honor, and that's what we would ask respectfully, Your Honor. He is maintaining this job, and it is, that's one of the main reasons is that he's helping to support not only his son who lives in the home, who has some special needs, but also his wife and his mother as well. So I know that is exactly an important part of it. He understands what he stands to lose with that, so he will comply with all requirements.
All right, so if it's GPS, usually I waive the fees on that. They say there's a free GPS out there somewhere with no fees. I've never seen it. It's a unicorn. But with the GPS with the waive fees, probation may be able to do that with him through the probation, or he may have to go to the jail to pick it up from there.
Understood.
All right, so the court is going to sentence you to 7 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs with testing for alcohol, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, TAP evaluation out of custody, follow recommendations. There will be 30 days partial GPS for employment, waive fees, and that will be in lieu of 10 days in the Bear County Jail. State, do you have any objections to the defendant serving time on GPS as opposed to 10 days in the Bear County Jail? All right. And so that the record can be clear, the court is doing this because one, I think it would be a hardship for you to serve the 10 days in jail. You'd probably lose your employment. And also there is an overcrowding issue at the jail. There are health issues at the jail. I've toured the jail. There is mold at the jail. So that is why it's 30 days. There's going to be ignition interlock half the term. You don't have ignition interlock on any vehicles you have access to. So if those vehicles belong to persons who are living at your home, you must have GPS on those. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's complete, the 200 hours will be deemed satisfied. DWI intervention, DWI education, and probation. Some of these classes he's already completed or he is almost completed. He can receive credit for that. VIP live, 2-year driver's license suspension. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Probation, is there anything else?
Okay.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I allow to look for new employment since I started my job after taxes. I was getting like 560. They cut our hours. Our checks are coming out for like 300 something or something. That's
Oh, yes, you're allowed to look for new employment. All right, just speak with probation about that.
Okay.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I hope I don't need to tell you this again. There are some people who are driving around. They're just trying to go to a football game, Texas Friday Night Lights thing, or either they're driving somebody during the daytime. Everybody's just trying to get to their destination safely. And in Bear County, there's an issue with people drinking and driving. They become impaired and they think they're not impaired. And then you end up with accidents and people dying. And then it's a tragedy. And let me just tell you, the public feels little to no sympathy to the person who's intoxicated and they hit someone and then they come to court crying, I never meant to do that. I have a family to support. So if you're not going to maintain your sobriety for yourself, which is really who it should be about, then maintain it for your son that you're supporting. You understand? If you ever need anything, let probation know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can come back to the court. If you feel like I'm about to stray from my sobriety, call probation, speak to your sponsor. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can come back to the court and we'll see what we can do to help you. All right? All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Tony Rodriguez. Hello. All right. How are you doing?
All right.
How's the weather outside? Is it still raining?
Rain
Yeah.
on and off.
Oh. There are so many rain songs. It's a rainy night in Georgia. Feel like it's raining all over the world. Then, of course, this may not be appropriate, but hey, it's raining men.
Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah. All right. So where are we on discovery?
I believe, Judge, since the last setting, as far as I can tell, we have all of the discovery. So now I'm just still in the process of going through it. I received an offer from the state today, so my client and I will discuss that. So if we could have another setting,
Okay.
just to continue to confer.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 1 month reset for plea deadline, please. May 6th, council.
That should be. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to come back on May 6th. If you have not reached an agreement at that time, your next setting is going to be a jury trial. All right, thank you. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, so the last time we were here, there was an issue with the discovery upload.
Yes.
Is that taken care of now?
I received a physical copy of the discovery today,
Okay.
Judge, and Andrew had requested that they fix it and it actually now works.
Okay,
So we got that all squashed if we could get some time to go over all the discovery on it.
all right. Ms. Ferguson, 30-day reset, and we'll call this a discovery setting.
Yes.
All right, May 6th, once you sign the reset form, you are excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
I think we had told you about what happened yesterday, that we're recalled for Monday on that case that was. deferred
Yes,
today.
yes, you did.
So, and I already got an email from Sybil, so it should be fine.
Okay, awesome. Court is calling 2025 CR 001187, State versus Michael Arez Mendez. Could I have parties announce?
And
Scott
her
Sullivan.
statement with the state.
Got Sullivan. for the thing.
And are you Mr. Arez Mendez?
ma'am.
Did you understand that you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 1 to 4 grams? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison, and the state is recommending community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense is at the plea?
Yes, sir.
State is at the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years and there be a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I can't contest.
Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I think you finally wants to get a hold, we talked a lot about his sobriety, and he's ready to get there now.
All right, so how long have you been using?
Been using for about 10 years.
When did you start? I mean, how old were you when you first used?
20,
Okay, why did you start?
a lot of depression. And, it's like my family, I didn't have my family.
All right. And is your family here in Bear County?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
All right, so who is your support system? What family members?
My mom.
All right, have you been to prison before?
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
For the same thing.
For drugs?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything other than drugs?
Tampering with evidence and abetting arrest.
All right, and what are all these tattoos about?
Tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I just have love for my city.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We're gonna see if probation thinks that's love for the city or love for groups.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think it may be love for more than your city, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so here's the thing about tattoos. I really don't have a problem with people having tattoos, but this is always tell you, once you start tattooing really above the clavicle, people will see you a certain way. Like, for example, who's going to hire you? Like, there may be somebody out there who said, you know what, I'm going to look past all of this. He seems like a good guy. He seems like he's ready to change his life and he wants to work hard. But 9 times out of 10, people are going to say, that's a little bit too dangerous for me because there's other things going on. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. In custody, we're going to do the following evaluations. TAP evaluation. Follow recommendations. Gang evaluation. And there's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Oh, and also, Ms. Abrams, we'll do a MIC evaluation in custody as well. There's to be regular random UAs. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. How far did you go in school?
To the 10th grade.
Why? Why didn't you graduate?
Because I was
Doing other things? All right. So there's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. And that will be waived if he obtains his GED or some sort of trade school certification. So you're going to have a choice. You can better yourself by obtaining your GED or obtaining your trade school certification in something, or it gets hot in San Antonio, as you're aware, since you say you have love for your city, and you can spend that time on the side of the road picking up trash because that's where they'll put you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And there's to be 120 sober meeting days, 120 sober meetings in 120 days. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I understand sometimes when people go into prison, they develop an affiliation with groups that have love for their cities because that's what you need to make it through prison, right? You're going to have to make a decision on whether or not you want to change your life. Definitely, if you continue on the path you're on, you're going to either spend the rest of your life in and out of jail, in and out of prison, or somebody's going to be identifying you on the side of the road or in some field somewhere. You understand? In this court, to be successful, communication is key. If there's an issue, if you feel you're about to use, because you're not allowed to drink alcohol either, let probation know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can come back to court. And then if you decide, you know what, this probation thing, I can't believe I signed up to do probation. I don't want to do it. Again, let probation know. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
People, places, and things, okay?
Thank you.